This is a Science 8 recording, 2017-2018, on black sand beaches. You will need two things in front of you to complete this summative. The first thing that you will need is a copy of this article. If you do not have a copy of this article, please turn to page 208 in your science book. The second thing that you will need is this graphic organizer worksheet that is called Unit Summative Project on Earth Dynamic Systems. The first thing you should do is put your name at the top of the page along with the hour that you have science. The goal of this summative is to show how geological processes have shaped your geologic feature, landform. You will get 2 class periods to complete this summative. On day 1, you will complete the graphic organizer below with information about your assigned geographic feature. You will do this by researching your geographic feature using reliable and reputable websites. This is due Friday at the start of class. The first thing that you need to do is you need to name your landform. So I need you to write black sand beaches in the blank next to name your landform. So before we read, we are going to figure out what the location of this landform is. If you look at your page, you will notice that it says a black sand beach in Hawaii. So the location is Hawaii. So you are going to write next to the blank that says location, you are going to say Hawaii. We're going to skip statement for a little bit, and we're going to go to formation. And what that means is, what are the steps in forming these black sand beaches? So let's begin to read. Picture a beach. What color is the water? What color is the sand? Sand is a mixture of very small pieces of rock and minerals, so sand can vary by color and texture, depending on the rock and mineral composition. In volcanic areas, lava that comes into contact with water will quickly cool and shatter. If the fragments are small enough, they can be considered sand. In some areas, there is enough of the sand to line an entire beach. The primary rock that comprises this type of sand is basalt. These beaches and their unusual sand can be quite breathtaking. However, black sand absorbs heat at a greater capacity than lighter colored sand. For this reason, caution should be used walking on it, as this type of sand can cause burns. The black beaches found in Hawaii and Iceland have this type of sand. So it had a lot of information about how it was formed. So the first thing you need to underline, and the first step, is volcano right here. So on the first line, next to formation, you need to write in your own sentence what's the first step in the formation of black sandy beach. The fact that a volcano explodes. So then your second step is that lava then comes into contact with water and cools quickly and then shatters. So that's your second step. So on number 2 of formation right here, in a complete sentence that uses your own words, you need to describe the second step of the formation of these black beaches. And basically what happens is you have a volcano that erupts, and then the lava hits water. And it cools quickly, and then all this lava basically shatters into tiny little pieces. So your third step is right here, where the fragments get small and they're considered sand. So that's your third step. So right here next to number 3 with the formation, in a complete sentence that is your own, you're going to describe the third process. So basically for number 3, we're talking about weathering and erosion. So basically that lava, after it shatters, it gets into even more small little pieces because of weathering, because of all that water that's around, and it erodes or it moves to a different place. And so that lava gets so small that it looks like little pieces of sand. So step number 4 is never really said in the article. So I need you to write down in your own sentence what I'm describing to you next, which is this: that what happens is the volcano never stops erupting. Like in Hawaii, they have active volcanoes. So what happens is the lava keeps going down, keeps hitting that water, keeps shattering. That lava weathers and erodes, and the lava gets into small little pieces of sand, and it just builds up over time. So those beaches have more and more little grains of lava sand, and it builds up over time. So I need you to write that in a complete sentence in your own words, what happens. So next we need to go back to the statement. And the first thing I need you to write on statement is black sand beaches. So black sand beaches were formed as a result of volcanic eruptions. Remember, the lava goes down into the ocean. It cools really fast. It shatters. But to make it into little pieces of sand, it needs to weather. And then it needs to erode, or erosion. So the next section that you need to do is the part that says defining your 3 key terms. So the 3 key terms that you need to define are erosion, lava and magma, and weathering. And when you define those words, you need to put them in a sentence, and you need to define them in your own words. Please do that now. So in this section, what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe to you what it was like at the very beginning, and you are going to write that description in your own words in complete sentences. So in the beginning, what happened was you had a volcano that erupted, and magma turned into lava, and it hit the ocean and cooled, and part of the beach was black. Not very much, just a little bit of the beach. Then it changed and looked like, so again, these volcanoes keep erupting over and over and over again. They're active volcanoes like in Hawaii. So you have a volcano, and you have a little bit of black beach, right? Not much. And it erupts again. Lava hits the ocean. It cools quickly, shatters, and then you have a little bit more of the beach that is black. So I need you to write that description in a complete sentence in that box. Then you have today it looks like. So it hasn't changed a lot. You still have your volcano. It's still erupting, right? Still hitting the water. But now you have even more beach that is black. It's just building up and accumulating. So I need you to write that in the box right there, in complete sentences. In the future, it will look like. It hasn't changed a lot again, guys. This volcano is active. It keeps going. So you still have a volcano. It erupts, turns into lava. It hits the water, it cools. The lava shatters. And it keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller into little pieces until it looks like sand. And so over time, that sand just and lava just keeps building up. So there's more and more. So I need you to write that in a sentence in that box. That's the end of the recording.